Bill turns into a partisan showdown on Capitol Hill. The House passed the bill after Republican hardliners added amendments against abortion, diversity, and transgender care. That infuriated Democrats. So what happens now? Democratic Senator Jack Reed, who is the chair of the Armed Services Committee there in the Senate, joins us now. Mr. Chairman, thank you for being with us. Let's start here with what came out of the House. They ended diversity, equity, and inclusion programs and staff in the Department of Defense if this becomes law, end reimbursement for expenses, including travel for military members' abortions, ban hormone treatments for transgender service members. The Senate will continue its work on its version of the NDAA this week. What happens next? And can you vote for a compromise version if any of those stay in the bill?
Well, the Senate will take up the bill on the floor next week and the following week. We will have votes on many of these topics. I don't think the Senate will support the legislation that's been promulgated by the House. Again, I think it just does not serve the welfare of troops, nor the professionalism and the training of the military forces that we need. Then we'll go into conference with the House, and there's the possibility of negotiations. And we have to wait until we see what the final version of the conference report is before we can draw a conclusion.
But could you vote for an NDAA with any of those three clauses or amendments that I just detailed?
It would be very challenging. The whole issue of diversity, equality, inclusion is central to the functioning of the military, and it's been categorized as something that's out of control and rampant. And in reality, it's a small component of the training that an individual receives, and it is part of recognizing that a diverse service, which the United States has, is the best type of service, that we have a more professional, more skilled army because we can call on the talents of all of our citizens. But we also have to have a means in which to allow individuals to become accustomed, some are not accustomed when they come in the service, to other people's, their cultures, their approaches, etc. And to do this, the whole point is to create one professional force where dedication to duty and dedication to your fellow soldiers is the prevailing mandate, and we do that very well. With respect to the Dobbs position, it is legal. In fact, the Bureau of Prisons, the Federal Bureau of Prisons, provides transportation course for individuals requiring reproductive surgery, and that's been held legal. So we're not talking about something that's illegal, and we're talking about, after Dobbs, something that's absolutely essential for the welfare of female soldiers.
In the same context,
so these are all.
Yes. I apologize for jumping in there. I expected there was a break. The same context, Senator Tommy Tuberville, he has, as you know, held up the promotions, the nominations of hundreds of high-ranking military officers. He wants a vote on the Department of Defense's position, their policy to allow service members to use official travel and to be reimbursed for some things if they're traveling for an abortion from a state where it is not legal. He says that this holdup of more than 200 appointments or nominations or promotions is not hurting readiness from the Marine Commandant on down. What do you say?
It is hurting readiness considerably. It is causing confusion in the upper ranks. It is distorting the ability of the Department of Defense to assign individuals. It's affecting families who have to prepare for new schools, new housing arrangements. It is very disruptive, and with every day becomes more disruptive. Take, for example, the nominee for the new Chief of Staff in the Army. He is currently the Vice Chief of Staff. Even if we would vote him through on a special vote, he still would not have a deputy vice chair. So he'd have to improvise all the duties of the vice chair. And one of the most important duties is serving on it's called the JROC, which is all of the vice chairs of the services who determine what are the requirements for the future? What do we need in terms of equipment, et cetera? And you can't have sort of a fill-in, just somebody who's there for some number of days. This is a serious responsibility. You could go through all of these holes and discover ways that it is adversely affecting the military. And you don't have to take my word for it. 7 secretaries to defense from administrations, both Republican and Democrats, condemned this and pointed out that it is disrupting the readiness of the military. Secretary Austin, General Milley, they too have come forward and said this very clearly. Yeah. If you believe that Senator Tuggle knows more about military readiness than 7 secretaries of defense, well, I'm sorry, you're mistaken.
Are there some that you think should get that roll call vote, the voice vote, as you named the Army Chief of Staff, the Marine Commandant or acting at this moment, that you think deserve that time dedicated on the Senate floor?
Every officer on this list, the 251 that are on the list, and then the very senior general officers that have come through the committee, deserve to be confirmed, not through sort of long-term voting, but as we've done traditionally, which is unless there's a specific personal objection based on the character or conduct of the individual, it's done by unanimous consent. It's done promptly. That's the way it should be done. We don't want to have a couple of votes for senior people, but still leave 250 or more individuals in limbo. And what
Tuberville talks about, Tuberville is holding this out. I just want to be clear about this. So as long as Tuberville is holding this up, it will be all by unanimous consent or none.
Well, we're in a situation where there could be a decision if it's critical, and I think it's getting critical, but my position right now is we have to get all these people confirmed. And what he's talking about, just give me a vote, is not give me a vote in the sense of bring the names down, I just want to be able to vote on them. He wants the whole panoply of quorum calls, et cetera. Yeah. The congressional researchers estimates that would take 668 hours, which translates into 27 days of Senate work. That's all day long, 7 days a week. Yeah. And if we just work 8 hours a day, that's something like 84 days, which would mean we can't do the National Defense Bill. We can't do the Appropriations Bill. Yeah. We'll paralyze the entire government.
It is certainly holding up the entire government, and the Republicans and Democrats now are coming out a little more vocally than they have been in the past several weeks over this. Senator Jack Reed, we got to wrap it there, but I thank you for your time, Chairman of the Senate Armed Services. Thank you, sir.